Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today it's a review on the Tempest Vickers P. Well, Tempest Mark V Vickers P. Now, I'm going to go briefly over the plane's history and what I was able to find out because there really isn't a lot about this plane. From what I've been able to find, it was designed to replace the aging Hawker Hurricane 2D, which is armed with the 40mm cannons, which I believe they're the same cannons on the Mark IV, the Vickers S. It's because these cannons were incapable of penetrating a Tiger. Now, the 47s on the Tempest really isn't much of an improvement. Just 85. But it was good enough. They took a standard Vickers Tempest Mark V and just took the 20mm out and put these guns on. These guns are actually pretty good, but you have to get them upgraded first. The reason for that is that they spray like a bitch. I'm not even joking. Like, these guns are horrendous. If you fire multiple times, you'll be seeing shots going wild everywhere across your gun sight. So my recommendation is 400 to 500 meters gun convergence. Take your shots carefully. I mean, you've got 36 trigger pulls, so you'll be fine for a bit. The Tempest is also very fast, as it was, well, it's a Mark V, and it's got a Napier Sabre cranking out almost 2,500 horsepower. It's insane. I've been able to get 520 miles an hour in a dive, and it doesn't give a shit. But hey, that's British planes for you. They can dive pretty well in most situations. So the Tempest Vickers P, I had a pretty good time in, other than the teams, obviously, because, well, they're allied teams. Acquiring 16 air kills, 11 deaths, most of those with bailouts to deny retards kills, and 124 ground targets. Very few of those are on light targets. Most of those are going to be on pillboxes and tanks, because that's what this thing really does well at. It's more of a primary target killer instead of AA gun killer. If you get 2 shots on an AA gun to connect, yeah, you'll kill it, but I don't advise that. Go for pillboxes, go for tanks, and that's really what this thing is meant for, and it does a great job doing it. So, oops. So upgrade path. So this one's going to be nice and simple since there's only, what, 10 mods? Yep, 10 mods. So I personally go radiator, compressor, engine, 47s, engine injection, 150 octane, wings repair, and then clean up the last 3 in any order you choose. That was the best upgrade path in my opinion, but do be advised that these 3 here will take a while to get, and then obviously these 3. Because this is 7,000 alone for each mod. This is 5,600, I think this is 6,300. So just bear that in mind. These are only like 4,500, I think, if I remember rightly. But yeah, definitely get the 47s first. These will really help. I found some good service with this thing as a bomber hunter. Well, a low altitude bomber hunter. I was able to intercept multiple Do 217s, and it cleaned them up really effectively. I mean, I can't fault it. I was also able to shoot down 2 SM-92s, both of those in maneuvering fights. This plane is not designed to turn fight, but it does pretty well either way. I've been able to run rings around a Falcon with 190 once. I technically have 2 replays I want to show you guys, but I'm thinking of sending one off to Digital Time Traveler. I might use the second one, I'll see. But the one we are going to use is this one, because I actually meet well, he wanted to squad up afterwards. I meet another pilot who, well, he learns the vital lesson of never brag. So the Tempest Vickers P was, well, in this battle, it was around about a third spaded. So far, I was having a lot of fun time with the plane, and I thought, in this battle, I'll take a bit more risk, and I know how loud a Tempest is, so I'm going to immediately crank down my engine volume. Because The Tempest is a very loud plane on headset, so I'm going to crank it down as low as I can. So now we're going to skip ahead, and I'm just hoping you guys can hear me over this plane. In fact, I'll leave the chat on because chat is pretty interesting in this battle. So as you can see, we're barely off the runway and we're already almost hitting 300 miles an hour. Richie D is going to get this plane, he's already said. It's a very nice aircraft. But I meet another pilot who I've been seeing a lot of lately, Panther Tank E75. He's in a SM92. And you can actually see him right here. If you follow my cursor. That's him. He's going for the tanks just over on B3 and B4. That's where he's headed. Now, personally, I don't see why he would... Well, in fact, he's actually wasted both of his bombs on a single pillbox, which makes no difference to the outcome of the match, so I think you're wasting your time, pal. I personally don't recommend carrying the fuselage bombs in the SM92. So now we're going to show what the Tempest can really do. I've spotted the guy now, and I'm thinking he's probably going to come up to try and stall climb for me. And you can see here, the Tempest, once you get it up to speed, climbs like a freaking god. And I didn't even have engine or engine injection or 150 octane. One thing I forgot to mention about your 150 octane is that it boosts your engine by about nearly 300 horsepower. It is a big difference. So now, he comes up to helicopter like an idiot, but the Tempest is just too powerful for him. However, I can't maneuver onto his tail very well. I nearly had him there. I had the combat flaps down, but that's another thing. The combat flaps do not last up to about 270 miles an hour. That's true airspeed, not indicated airspeed. So at this point, I call for assistance, and well, just to distract him, and a P-63A-10 comes in to lend me a hand. So thank you to Miranda Korea. You're very helpful. The SM92 had to brake his turn a bit harder, but that's one hit, that's two hits, and the tail comes flying off. First air kill. I acknowledge the P-63 pipe by saying cheers for the backup. And now we are going to head towards the ground targets. Well, make our way over there. But yes, I did enjoy spading the plane overall. It was a very nice plane to actually fly. But as I was mentioning about most of my deaths being bailouts, it's because I have had countless players who, bear in mind they're losing, and they just dive down for my ass, thinking, oh, it's the Tempest Vickers P, it's the most important plane in the game, I must kill it. So because I'm sick and tired of the retardation, I bail out. I don't see bailing out as a scummy move, only if you do it if you lose a dogfight. Now for some reason, the replay decides to not show all the tracer fire, but it takes roughly 3 hits to destroy a pillbox. And that's 347 hits. That'll obviously be 2 trigger balls. So if you're a good shot, you can kill 16 pillboxes in one run, but obviously we use some ammunition to kill the SM92. I believe I used 6 rounds on him. But once you're left alone a bit, this thing does pretty well. But like I say, I would love to just have maybe a cannon or something, machine gun, just to clean up these light ground targets. I really would. Because here you can see we're taking AAA fire at the moment. And now the water system's just been hit. The water system is the same as the Typhoon, it's very vulnerable. It's in the chin mounted radiator. And there you can see the AAA guns. and I pop an artillery gun on the way through. I don't recommend popping light targets like that, but if you've got the opportunity to do it, you might as well. But just bear in mind you're firing armor-piercing rounds. They're not exactly suitable. If you could load HE in these guns, it'd be even better. And then I would use this as a bomber hunter. Because it's got a climb rate to do it, people. It really does. I've been matching Spitfires in this thing. Comfortably. So now, we are going to skip to the airfield, because, well, if you watch the left-hand side, you'll see the team's gonna die. And now, Killer Mixamoo, I almost forgot to mention this guy, actually. Bear in mind, he has died nearly, what, 5 minutes ago, in Speed 25? He's moaning that the Spitfire pilot isn't very good. He's got a C205 on him, and the guy is now threatening to report the player for doing what he can. I mean, he's obviously a new player, judging by his flight style. He's obviously not low decon, I'd have a Mach-E C205. But he's trying. I don't mind it when I see a new player, it's just I want to see them try. And this guy is trying his best, he's trying to outroll the MC205. And now he's taking it to a good maneuvering fight. But now Killer Mixamoo is threatening to report him for no reason. But here comes X-Clone 10. You will see this geezer later. But I believe that was... Yes, that was the 205. I have just landed in the meantime. The Tempest is a bitch when it's landing at stall speed. I will warn you. He's threatening to report him for being useless. I'm sorry, pal, but you've not exactly done anything. I love it when I see ironic players. And I'm not being funny, right? You're level 14, and you're stat padding on bots, clearly. So if I was you, pal, I'd just shut the fuck up. Anyway. Less about that retard, and well... I do counteract his argument by telling him to basically shut the fuck up, and he actually does, surprisingly. Not very often you get a player like that. And I answer back, you can't report someone for dying, you do realise that, right? Some people are obviously just new. Perfectly fine, it's RB, some people may want to try RB from Arcade, think they're God's gift to War Thunder. Clearly Killer T Mixamoo, or Maximoo, thinks he's God's gift to War Thunder. Well, no you're not, pal. So now taking off, and we are wheels up. The Tempest gets off the ground really well. Now he's saying he doesn't care about my opinion. Well, you just look like a child then. Well, that's fine by me. And then I just go, then shut the fuck up. And he can't even spell you right. And I don't know why he had to put it as a rhetorical question, because... Well, it's now down to me and this BTD, who is currently going for Vlad 00. I don't blame him personally, but I certainly wouldn't do it in a BTD. Let's just say that. I am not squadded with the BTD before anyone asks. But I'm climbing up to give him a hand, so to speak. But Onyx manages to damage the BF-109 F2, and I finish him off later. There's your hint for how this battle ends. And there is X-Clone 10. We're going to see him in a moment. And you're going to want to watch the chat. Oh, he has a really good battle, I'll give him that. He's already on 4 kills, and Onyx is going to be his 5th. So, congrats on the ace, buddy. You earned it. He did really well, what X-Clone 10 did. He's currently on the tail of the BTD, and it's right about this moment where he blows him out the sky. And I'm thinking at this point, fuck! But in a second, X-Clone 10 is going to start typing. And I decide he's the biggest threat, because I already know he's on an ace. And any second now, he's going to start typing. He puts in the chat, ace baby, but doesn't realise that there's a Tempest Vickers P diving on him. And that one went round to your fuel tank, buddy. And in a moment, he's going to call himself out for being quite ironic, and he just puts RIP. But I give him a congratulations. You did well, buddy. I'll give you that. You really did well. But that's my second air kill for the battle. Mr. Zick in his 205 Series 3 is going to crash. And he puts, that is why, ladies and gentlemen, you don't boast. Indeed, pal. But you did really well, like I say. And there is the BF-109F2. He is actually damaged from the BTD. But you can see here the plane picks up its speed perfectly fine. I mean, its acceleration is pretty decent. Its low altitude speed is insane. Just find that funny the second I typed that, you removed me from existence. Damn right I did. And these are armor piercing rounds, buddy, so I was kind of lucky. As I mentioned to you. Now, Vlad00, for some reason, decides with a knackered engine, because his engine is actually knackered, people. He decides the best course of action is to instead run for his AAA cover, which I probably would have done. He decides to then stall climb with a dead engine against a Tempest Vickers P with an altitude advantage. Although it never end one way, buddy. Now I will say the guns are very hard to get on target in this situation. But I managed to get it to work. Third and final air kill of the game. But this plane is very good for boom and zoom roll. If you want to try as a fighter, I highly recommend it. It's just your team sucks, so you probably die. Just going to skip to the final parts of the match, because obviously we've got a couple of ground targets to clean up. There's our Tiger 1s down there, but at this range of the tank RB battle, that will not penetrate. But this is Gaijin land. And even Xclone says you might just be able to pull this one out of the bag. And I do, buddy, because your V238 crashes on the runway. Well, technically you landed, but it counted as a death. But hey ho, I'll take it. There's another pillbox. I did have a couple of games with Xclone 10 on this evening when this battle took place, and then I had to go to bed because I was fucking tired. Not just for the retardation, but I just had a long day. And there you can see the AAA being balanced as usual. Even against ground attackers, it's a complete fuckfest. You can see the tail's completely fucked. And a BB crashes on the runway, which counts as the match ending. And that's a game over. So, great battle for the Tempest Vickers P, wasn't it? Now, throughout this video, obviously, I've been thinking about the second replay. I am actually going to send it off to the Digital Time Traveler because it's a really good replay. And I thought this one was better, but I thought I'll send that one off and show exactly what the Tempest can do. To him, because I don't think he spaded it, if I remember rightly. But do I recommend getting this plane? Hell yes, I do. Just as I always say about ground pounders. If it's on the Allied side, prepare for a fuckfest. Let's just say that. But if you need to use this thing as a fighter, yeah, she'll do well. One thing I advise is if you've got a target on your tail and you're at high altitude, just drop the frickin' nose and this thing will dive like it's going out of style. I've been able to get around 520 miles an hour, obviously true airspeed out of it, and it really doesn't care. It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe how fast this thing is for 4.0. I mean, technically the P-51 with the Allison engine could match it, but I'm sorry, this is a Tempest and it retains its energy much better. It's got nearly twice the horsepower on WEP. But yes, get this playing. It would be pretty decent for 10 LB as well. However, do be in mind, if you take it up into higher battles, you will not be able to penetrate tigers. You will be able to penetrate panthers from the side, however, and pretty certain that'll be coming in handy. I haven't tried it against a tank to see how devastating it is to a tank, but I'll probably do that at some point and let you guys know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you all on the next one.